Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and we've got our first build of the Necron chapter. I am really excited about this one. I wanted to play a little bit of Warden and something familiar before taking on Arcanist. So if you guys want a little build to start with for MagDen, I think that this is a really good place to start, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. Also, before we get started, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It is free, and it helps me tremendously. But without further ado, let's get started. Let's look at our character sheet. We're going to be a Khajiit on our Warden. I think Khajiit is best in slot for going back and forth between Stam and Mage. You get so much extra damage because of it, and your recovery is actually nice because of it. So in my opinion, I think Khajiit is the absolute best way to go. Our attributes are going to be 37 points into magic and 27 points into health to give us a max magic pool of 21.8k, a max health pool of 31.7k, and a max stam pool of 16.3k. We're going to be using the Warrior to increase our weapon damage as much as possible for our Mundus. And then also we're going to be using Jewels of Mizrael for our food. It's going to increase our max health by 3,927 and also increase our stam and magic recovery by 357 as well. Also, we're going to be Vampire Stage 3, so that lower health that we are at, the more tanky we are, that on death passive is absolutely phenomenal. Looking at our gear, our monster set on this is going to be Bloodspawn. I've never done Bloodspawn on a Warden before this build, and honestly, I really liked it. It made it so that it was really tanky. I didn't need to build into tankiness outside of this. And also, getting our ult gen pretty fast is really nice for this build because our ults do a lot of damage. So we're going to be using a heavy reinforced helmet for Bloodspawn and a medium impen shoulder. And as always, we're going to be using prismatics on all of our pieces of gear, as you can see. And then also, what Bloodspawn does is the one piece gives you stam recovery, and then the two piece is when you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate, increase your physical and spell resistance by 3,700. So that is awesome for your overall tankiness and ult gen. It's a lot of fun to use this. Then also we're going to be using a heavy cuirass of the trainee in reinforced. We have one extra slot on this build, so I like to use trainee to increase our max health as much as possible. Our front bar set is going to be Draugr. We're going to be using light gloves in Impen. So what Draugr does is going to increase your max magic, offensive pen, magic recovery, and then increases your damage done by 330, but it's going to also reduce your healing taken by 10% as well. So only front barring this is definitely the way to go on this. I tried to do it where this was on the body at all times, but I really felt my healing lacking because of this. So as a front bar set only, this is a great way to go. It's making so that all of our abilities are hitting a lot harder, and I definitely think that this is the right way. Our sash is also going to be Draugr, so it's going to be a light impen sash. Then we're also going to be using a light feet in Draugr as well in Divines. Then also our legs are going to be Greaves of Wretched Vitality, so this is going to be heavy reinforced. So this is going to be our back bar set on this. And what this does is it gives us magic recovery, stam recovery, weapon and spell damage, and then also while you're in combat, applying a major buff or debuff to a target grants you 260 magic recovery and stamina recovery. Then the same thing with minor buff or debuff, 130. So that's going to be an extra basically 400 recovery just for applying a buff. So that is absolutely phenomenal for your sustain, and I definitely noticed this. MagDen's kind of tough with sustain, so using Wretched Vitality is a great way to just counteract that. Our jewelry is going to be Amulet of Wretched Vitality in the Infused trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. I like Infuse the most because it increases your weapon and spell damage while also increasing your heals as well. Also, Pale Order is going to be on this build infused with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. So I really like Pale Order for this because our healing, when we're hitting a lot of damage numbers simultaneously on our front bar when we're going offensive. So this is a great way to get a lot of heals back. It is honestly insane. A lot of my fights that I was looking at, Pale Order was my second or third most healed thing that really healed me every fight. So I just really like this, and I definitely recommend this for solo play. If you're in a group though, I probably would recommend something like Death Dealers to increase your overall stats. It'll pad your stats. But if you're solo, Pale Order for sure. And then our other ring is going to be Ring of Wretched Vitality in the Infused trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. Then our front bar weapon is going to be a Draugr Ice Staff in the Charge trait with a magic damage glyph that also restores health, magic, and stamina. It helps your overall sustain a lot and increases your damage a lot by using Charged. Also, our back bar weapon is going to be Ice Staff of Wretched Vitality in defending with an increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it as well. Our skills are going to be for our main spammable. It's going to be Force Pulse. So this is going to do 2500 Flame, Shock, and Frost damage right away. And then also up to 2 nearby enemies will take an extra 7700 magic damage if they're already afflicted with the status effect. That's huge if you're getting to a little Brawl Tower fight. It's a lot of fun. And then also, because of all that damage procs on Force Pulse, Draugr increases your damage done by 330. So all of those abilities, you see how they're all 2500 right there? They're all going to be increased by 330. So all 3 of those tooltips are going to go up to about, what is that, 2830. So the damage on it really increases a lot. And that's not even with me buffed at all. So it increases a lot. Also, I'm going to be using Bird of Prey on this build. It's going to be your source of major expedition, so it's going to increase your movement speed. It's also going to give you immunity to snares and immobilization, so it's your nice little snare removal on this build, so you can get through a lot of snares and all that stuff. And then also on top of that, you're also getting Minor Berserk for having this slotted, so it's going to increase your overall damage done by 5%. And you're also going to be using Blue Betty. This is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery, so it's going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 20%. And also on top of that, the Netch also removes 1 negative effect from you every 5 seconds, so it's huge for your overall damage mitigation. And then Deep Fissure is going to be your main burst damage, I guess. This is a great source of damage. On top of that, when you hit an enemy with this, they're going to be afflicted with major and minor breach for 10 seconds. So it's going to reduce their physical and spell resistance by both 6k for the major breach and then 3k for the minor breach. So an overall 9k. That is absolutely massive for your damage. To hit them with this in the middle of a fight and then keep on going offensive, it is really great. Then also we're going to be using Fetcher Infection. I like this a lot because you get minor vuln on your enemy, which, you know, I know the shock damage glyph does that, but overall, I think that having this little dot on your enemy, it shreds with Draugr, and it is just such a nice source of damage for that extra little bit of dot pressure. I definitely noticed the difference between having Fetcher on there and any other ability. I like Fetcher a lot for this. Also, we're going to be using Dawnbreaker for our front bar ultimate. I just like this overall. If you can combo your Deep Fissure Dawnbreaker combo with Force Pulse, it's a lot of damage, and I definitely recommend trying this out. Also, our back bar abilities, we're going to be using Arctic Blast. This is going to be your main burst heal. This is a tough ability now because the heal on it is 3 seconds after you, or not the heal, the stun on this is now 3 seconds after you cast it. So I would recommend probably going with Polar Wind nowadays. That way you can just get the higher heal. But it was nice having Arctic Blast while it lasted. I would probably recommend going with Polar Wind nowadays. Also, Lotus Blossom. This is going to be your source of major prophecy and savagery, increasing your weapon and spell crit by 2,600. And also, whenever you do a light or heavy attack, it's going to give you health back. So that's really great for your overall healing. Also, Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main 5-second heal over time, so it's a nice little chunky heal, and on top of that, you're also going to get Minor Resolves, which is going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. And then Leeching Vines, this is going to be another nice heal over time, and on top of that, you're also going to get Minor Lifesteal, so enemies that damage the target, that basically damage either you or whoever you put this on, you're going to get healed by that for an extra 792. So that's awesome. That's extra healing, and that's crazy good healing. I really like this morph a lot. Also, Ice Fortress is going to be your source of major resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 30 seconds, and you're also going to get minor protection on this, so this is a great way to activate your Wretched Vitality. You get the major resolve and the minor protection, boom, easy, great way to just keep your Wretched Vitality up at all times, so this ability also makes you super tanky as well. And then Northern Storm for our back bar. This ultimate does insane damage. Between the amount of damage that it does and the little AoE around you, it's also going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 300. And on top of that, you're going to get major protection, so that's going to increase your, or reduce your damage taken by 10% as well. So it makes you really tanky. And then also, if you think about it, this ability is also, this ultimate is going to also be buffed by Draugr when you're on your front bar, so it's just going to do that extra little bit of damage, and I absolutely love that so much. The pressure that you can apply with this is insane. Also, for our champion points, we're going to be using for our blue slottables Focus Mending. Master at Arms, Cleansing Revival, and Ironclad. Our red slottables are going to be Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, Pain's Refuge, and Bastion. And then our green slottables, the only things that we really care about are Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, and Breakful. Wait a second. Why do I have Bastion in there? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I did not mean to have Bastion in there. I truly apologize. Okay, looking at this now, where are we? Sorry, guys. I had the exact wrong CP in. So for our red slottables, Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, Pain's Refuge, Celerity, increase your speed. I was trying something before I recorded this video, and no, never mind. So use Celerity instead. But guys, thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoy the Necrom chapter. It's a lot to look forward to, and I will be getting an Arcanist build out there as soon as possible. I definitely want to try it and come up with something that's really strong. And I really want to come up with something for you guys that's honestly a lot of fun as well, because that's what really matters. As long as the game's fun and as long as the classes are fun, that's really what I care about. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It is free and it helps me out a lot. Also, we started up a second YouTube channel, so if you want to go and sub to that, that would really mean the world to me. The link will be in the description. Just going and subbing to both channels is a free way to help me out tremendously, and I can't stress enough how much I would appreciate that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's get on with the clips for this build. I will see you guys on the next video. Later.